Hi everybody, this is Barry. We're doing some more Q&A after the launch of my newest film, Bummer. We're taking on some more of your questions, either about Bummer, about any of my other films, or about my approach to filmmaking and directing and writing and editing and everything else I do in general. So let's take a look here. We have a question that came from Instagram. The question is, how do you deal with writer's block or creativity block? I love that question, so thank you for that. Writer's block is something that I go through every now and then. When it comes to creativity block, I assume you mean like if I'm directing, making a film, and I'm stuck on what to do next. That doesn't really happen that much when I'm in the moment. When I'm on set, or working with actors. I so far haven't had a problem yet where I get stuck thinking of what's next. But what I encounter writer's block sometimes when I'm writing a screenplay. Um, and I find that it happens for a couple reasons, and there's all kinds of different effects about it. So we can talk about that. Why does it happen? It might happen because, for one reason or another, I get stuck writing a screenplay because I've written these characters who are in a scenario, and I don't know what happens next. I don't know what they do next. I don't know what happens to them next and how they react to that. So when that happens, I find the reason sometimes is because I actually haven't fleshed out my characters enough. So I'll go back and really try to intimately think of details of my characters, their traits, and what about them could be challenged. So sometimes I might be writing, and it's occurred to me, it might be helpful to think of what was it like when my character was born? What was their childhood like? What's their favorite color? What's their favorite band if they like music? Even what's their favorite movie or film? Um, those are all traits that can help me understand my character more, and can actually help the movie more. I remember there was a quote. I believe it was Martin Scorsese, and I can't remember if this is right or not. But I believe he said he doesn't do narrative, mostly meaning story. I do characters. And that always stuck around with me. I thought that was a really interesting approach to writing a screenplay or making a film in general. Um, I remember when I was writing Kin, before I even touched the screenplay itself, I wrote a journal through the perspective of the character Marky. And I act a lot anyway, but if I had been selected for that film by another director, I might do that exercise anyway, just because it might help me out. But here it helped me out not just as an actor, but as the screenwriter and even as the director. It helped me understand the character a lot more. So that might be something you could try. The other exercise I do that sometimes helps me work through writer's block is thinking more about what could be challenging the character. I had a professor when I was getting my master's at American University. His name is Gary Griffin. Look him up, he's great. But he had this philosophy about fiction filmmaking that I thought was really great. He said, you can have a character and you can think of them going through conflict, but if you can think of a character and you think of an environment and a circumstance that is of contrast to them, sometimes extremely in contrast to them, how they deal with that reveals character, which I thought was really great. And that resonated with me, I think, because maybe I've always tried to do that and I just didn't know how to verbalize that. But certainly from now on, that is something I've bared in mind. And I found it to be pretty helpful.